Get comfortable. Let your shoulders relax, your breathing slow, and the sounds of the outside world fade away. Today, we embark on a remarkable, almost magical journey into the most mysterious corner of human experience. We will talk about dreams. Dreams are the delicate threads that weave our nights, those strange images, fragments of sensations and stories that come to us when our consciousness rests and our mind, like an unfastened book, allows the pages of imagination to turn without restraint. Since ancient times, people have tried to understand where dreams come from and what they mean. Ancient shamans believed dreams were messages from spirits. Priests of ancient Egypt recorded them on papyrus. The Greeks built temples where people could sleep with purpose, hoping a deity would descend in a dream to offer guidance. And we modern humans are still searching for answers. Dreams are a universal experience. We all have them, though we don't always remember them. Sometimes dreams delight us, sometimes they frighten us. At times they seem to predict, inspire, or unsettle. Occasionally, we wake with the feeling of having lived an entire lifetime in a single dream. Why do we dream? Why has nature given us this gift? Or perhaps this illusion? Are dreams a byproduct of the brain's workings, or a delicate bridge between worlds inner and outer? Today we will try to find out. This lecture is not a dry recitation of theories. It is a gentle immersion into the rivers of consciousness. We will journey through ancient myths, peek into scientists' laboratories, listen to the voices of philosophers, and finally reflect together. Perhaps dreams don't tell us about the future, but about ourselves. As you listen, allow yourself to relax. Let each phrase settle softly like a warm blanket. There's no rush. All you need to do is be here and listen. I'll begin at the very start, with how sleep works. Sleep is one of the greatest mysteries of human nature. We spend a third of our lives asleep, yet so many facets of this state remain unexplored. Since ancient times, people have observed sleep, feared it, revered it, and tried to understand what happens to the body and mind when they plunge into the darkness of the unconscious. To speak meaningfully about dreams, we must first understand how sleep works from a biological perspective. What laws govern it? What phases does our brain pass through before creating the intricate, sometimes astonishing images of dreams? Sleep is not merely a shutdown. It is an active, complex, and rhythmic process divided into several stages, cycles, and phases. Each sleep cycle lasts about 90 to 120 minutes and repeats 4 to 6 times per night in an adult. The sleep cycle consists of 2 main phases: slow-wave sleep and rapid eye movement, REM sleep. These alternate and serve different functions. Slow-wave sleep is the first phase the body enters after falling asleep. It includes 3 stages. Drowsiness, the lightest level of sleep, a transition from wakefulness to sleep. Muscles begin to relax, the pulse slows and breathing becomes even. At this stage, we may feel as if we're falling, known as hypnagogic jerks. This stage lasts from 1 to 7 minutes. Light sleep. Here, the brain starts producing specific signals, sleep spindles, and K-complexes, which play a key role in suppressing external stimuli. Body temperature drops and heart rate stabilizes. This is the longest stage of sleep, accounting for up to 50% of total sleep time. Deep sleep. Also known as delta sleep, it is the most restorative. Key regeneration processes occur, protein synthesis increases, muscles recover, and the immune system strengthens. The brain produces slow delta waves, the slowest and highest amplitude neural rhythms. This stage is responsible for physical restoration. After slow-wave sleep, the REM phase begins. This stage is characterized by high brain activity, rapid eye movements under the eyelids, increased heart rate, and breathing. Yet, despite this cerebral storm, The body remains nearly immobile due to atonic paralysis, which prevents physical enactment of dream movements. The first REM phase lasts only 10 to 15 minutes, but it lengthens with each cycle. By morning, the final REM episode may last up to 60 minutes. It is during these moments that we experience the most vivid and memorable dreams. What's particularly striking is that brain activity during REM sleep closely resembles wakefulness in many ways. While slow-wave sleep is dominated by delta waves, REM sleep sees beta and theta waves, similar to those observed when a person is awake and actively thinking. Studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, and electroencephalography, EEG, have shown that during REM sleep, the following areas are highly active. The amygdala, responsible for processing emotions, especially fear and anxiety. The hippocampus, crucial for memory consolidation and transferring information from short-term to long-term storage. The occipital cortex, responsible for visual processing, which explains the vivid imagery in dreams. Associative zones, which help connect disparate fragments of memories, impressions, and experiences. However, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic, planning, and control, shows reduced activity. This explains why we don't question absurd dream scenarios and accept even the most fantastical situations as normal. Scientists have proposed numerous hypotheses about why we dream. Here are the main ones. Memory theory. This hypothesis suggests that dreams help organize and process information received during the day. Neural connections are updated, discarding the unnecessary and reinforcing the important. REM sleep aids in consolidating procedural and emotional memory, while slow-wave sleep supports declarative memory, facts and events. Emotional regulation. Sleep allows us to safely replay situations tied to strong emotions. In dreams, we confront conflicts, fears, or losses in a protected environment. This helps the brain adapt to stress and reduce emotional strain in waking life. Problem-solving and creativity. REM sleep fosters unconventional thinking, generating unexpected associations and aiding creative solutions. Numerous examples exist of dreams leading to breakthroughs, from scientific discoveries to musical compositions and literary plots. Evolutionary theory. Some scientists believe dreams serve as a simulation of dangers where the brain rehearses. Survival strategies. This nighttime simulator increased survival chances in prehistoric times. REM and slow-wave sleep play complementary roles. Disruption of either phase leads to serious consequences. Insufficient deep sleep reduces physical endurance, slows tissue regeneration, and weakens the immune system. A lack of REM sleep impairs mood, reduces learning ability, and causes emotional instability. Sleep is vital not only for the body but also for the psyche. Even minor chronic sleep deprivation reduces attention, impairs memory, and increases anxiety. People deprived of REM sleep may experience hallucinations, irritability, or depression. The influence of external factors on dream content often reflects our daily experiences. For instance, watching a horror movie increases the likelihood of an anxious dream. If someone spent the day solving complex problems, the brain may continue processing them in sleep. Emotional experiences, stress, inspiration, and impressions all become raw material for nighttime stories. Certain medications, such as antidepressants or sleeping pills, can alter sleep structure, suppressing REM sleep. This may lead to a lack of dreams or, conversely, a surge in dreams after discontinuation, known as REM rebound. In infants, REM sleep accounts for up to 50% of total sleep, and scientists believe it plays a role in brain development. With age, The proportion of REM sleep decreases, reaching 15–20% in older adults. This may explain why elderly people recall dreams less often or find them less vivid. The phenomenon of lucid dreaming is also fascinating, a state where a person realizes they are dreaming and can control the dream's course. This typically occurs during REM sleep and is accompanied by unusual activation of the prefrontal cortex. Thus, the biology of sleep is a complex and elegant system, with each phase serving a specific function. REM sleep is a unique stage where the brain, free from logical constraints, weaves emotions, memories, and images into captivating, mysterious stories. Dreams not only reflect our daily lives, but also shape our personality, memory, and emotional state. Understanding these processes allows us to better understand ourselves, care for our sleep, and perhaps pay closer attention to the stories our brain tells us each night. In the next chapter, we will turn to human history and explore how different cultures explained the nature of dreams. From magical interpretations to psychoanalysis, an exciting journey into the symbolic world of dreams awaits us. Psychoanalytic theories. Dreams have accompanied humanity since ancient times, but it was only in the late 19th and early 20th centuries that they became the subject of scientific study. Psychoanalysts, particularly two towering thinkers, Sigmund Freud and Carl Gustav Jung, played a pivotal role. Their views on dreams became not just scientific hypotheses, but cultural phenomena that continue to inspire, provoke, and spark debate. Today, we will dive into the fascinating world of psychoanalytic dream theories. We'll start with Freud, the founder of psychoanalysis, who boldly saw dreams as the royal road to the unconscious. Then we'll turn to Jung, his student and later rival, who offered a different perspective on the inner human world and the meaning of nocturnal visions. Finally, we'll compare their approaches to better understand how these two great minds saw dreams as reflections of humanity's deepest nature. Freud called dreams the royal road to the unconscious. He believed that through dreams we could glimpse the depths of the psyche inaccessible in everyday life. According to his theory, every dream contains latent content, unconscious, desires, often sexual or aggressive, that are repressed because they are unacceptable to us. In his seminal work, The Interpretation of Dreams, published in 1900, Freud outlined the core of his theory. He distinguished two levels of dream content, manifest and latent. The manifest content is what we recall in the morning, an image, event, or storyline. But this is merely the tip of the iceberg. The latent content, Freud argued, is far more significant. It is tied to our true desires, fears, and memories. During dreaming, these are distorted, masked, and processed through what he called the dream work, a mechanism that transforms inner impulses into images that don't provoke anxiety. For example, if someone harbors aggression toward a parent, they might dream of arguing with a stranger. Or if they have a forbidden sexual desire, they might see a metaphor for it. A train entering a tunnel, a sea covering the shore, or a house with many doors. To Freud, these are all symbols, and the task of psychoanalysis is to decode them and uncover their true meaning. Freud identified several mechanisms by which the unconscious transforms thoughts into images: condensation, displacement, symbolization, and secondary elaboration. Condensation merges multiple elements into one. Displacement shifts importance from one image to another. Symbolization turns desires into images. Secondary elaboration gives the dream a logical structure, making it seem coherent, even if this is an illusion. These mechanisms, Freud believed, work to conceal the unsettling truth about our desires, fears, and traumas. Dreams in this view are like encrypted letters from the unconscious. To understand them, one must read between the lines. The psychoanalyst is the one who speaks this special language. Yet Freud was not entirely pessimistic. He believed that by understanding our dreams, we could free ourselves from inner conflict and stop fearing ourselves. This, he argued, was the essence of therapy, not suppression, but awareness and integration of unconscious material. Carl Jung began as Freud's student and follower, but soon forged his own path. He found Freud's focus on sexual symbolism and reductionist approach too limiting. Jung believed Freud oversimplified the psyche by reducing it to personal history and repressed desires. He proposed a broader, deeper concept. Jung introduced the idea of the collective unconscious, a layer of the psyche shared by all humans, regardless of origin, culture, or experience. Within this unconscious reside archetypes, universal symbols, images, and themes that recur across cultures, such as the mother, the wise old man, the hero, the shadow, or the trickster. Dreams, Jung argued, allow us to encounter these archetypes. Unlike Freud, who saw dreams as reflections of a repressed past, Jung believed dreams address what is happening in the present and may even point to the future. He called dreams a self-regulating mechanism of the psyche, helping us restore inner balance. If someone is overly rational, a dream might feature a wild animal, symbolizing instinct. If they're stuck in routine, they might dream of a journey, a bridge, or a ship. If they suppress emotions, they might see water, a flood, or a storm. These images, to Jung, are not disguises but messages. Dreams say, look here, this is what you're missing, this is what you've avoided. Jung also paid attention to dream series, repetitions, cycles, and progression. He saw in them an inner narrative, as if the psyche were telling a story. Understanding this story could lead to greater wholeness, uniting consciousness and the unconscious, bringing one closer to their true self. Jungian dream work is not about decoding symbols, but engaging in a dialogue with the inner world. Jung advised his patients not just to analyze dreams, but to draw them, write them, act them out, and treat them like works of art. He believed every dream is a living fabric of the psyche, deserving of respect. Though Freud and Jung started as allies, their views on dreams increasingly diverged. These differences went beyond theory to the very philosophy of the psyche. Freud saw the unconscious as a repository of repressed desires, primarily sexual. Jung viewed it as a richer, multi-layered structure, encompassing personal and collective levels. Freud saw dreams as distorted, encrypted messages hiding the truth. Jung saw them as open images, symbolizing the psyche's quest for balance. Freud focused on the past, traumas, childhood, repressed impulses. Jung emphasized personal growth, individuation, and where one could go in their development. For Freud, a dream was a compromise between desire and prohibition. For Jung, it was a path to self-discovery, a dialogue with the soul, an inner mirror. Nevertheless, both thinkers made invaluable contributions to understanding dreams. Freud was the first to assert that dreams have meaning and can be deciphered. Jung expanded this understanding, showing that dreams reflect not only personal history, but also universal psychic structures, a world of symbols, myths, and archetypes. Today, psychology draws on both approaches. Some continue the psychoanalytic tradition, exploring dreams as clues to the past. Others follow the Jungian school, viewing dreams as a path to spiritual growth. Many therapists simply help people hear their dreams without imposing a single interpretation. Psychoanalysis opened our eyes to the fact that dreams are not just chaotic images, random plots, or meaningless memory fragments. They are a language, deep, ancient, and symbolic, a language through which the unconscious speaks to us. Freud taught us to seek the desire behind the image. Jung taught us to seek the meaning. One gave us tools for analysis, the other gave us keys to symbols. Perhaps the most important thing is not what our dreams mean exactly, but that they mean something at all. When we sleep, our psyche continues its work. It whispers, paints, and guides. It heals, develops, and directs. It stays with us even when we forget about it. Dreams are a path inward, and sometimes a path outward. If we learn to listen to them carefully, we may learn more about ourselves than we ever imagined. Neurobiological theories of dreams. When a person falls asleep, their body rests, but their brain remains active. This became especially evident in the 20th century, when the development of electroencephalography allowed scientists to observe the remarkable electrical life of the sleeping brain. Yet the question of why we dream and how dreams form remains one of neuroscience's most captivating mysteries. In this chapter, we will explore one of the most influential biological concepts, Alan Hobson's activation synthesis theory, examine its critiques and evolution, and analyze the role of emotions and memory in dream formation, activation synthesis theory. In 1977, American neurophysiologists Alan Hobson and Robert McCarley proposed a theory that radically changed the scientific view of dreams. They argued that dreams are not hidden messages from the unconscious, as Freud believed, nor reflections of unfulfilled desires, but the result of random neural activation during REM sleep. During REM sleep, certain brain areas, particularly the brainstem, spontaneously activate. This activity is chaotic and initially meaningless, resembling neural noise. However, the cerebral cortex, especially the frontal and parietal regions, attempts to interpret this stream of stimuli, creating a coherent story, a dream. In other words, the brain receives meaningless internal signals and tries to make sense of them, synthesizing a narrative. Hence the name, the activation, so chaotic neural firing, and synthesis, creating a narrative. Brain regions in dream work. The theory is grounded in neurophysiological data. The pons in the brainstem generates REM sleep activation signals. These signals spread to the thalamus, then to the sensory cortex and associative zones, the prefrontal cortex, responsible for logical thinking and self-control, is partially suppressed, making dreams seem illogical and fantastical. The amygdala, responsible for emotions, is particularly active. As a result, people experience vivid, emotionally charged dreams, often defying logic, but filled with images and actions. Though the activation synthesis theory was revolutionary and explained why dreams can be illogical and strange, it faced valid criticism. The main argument: dreams are not always chaotic, as Hobson claimed. Many dreams have structure, recurring themes, and reflect life experiences, emotions, anxieties, and memories. People often have similar dreams: falling, being chased, taking exams, or revisiting childhood scenes. These images don't resemble random activation. They are emotionally significant. Narrative structure. Many dreams have a plot, a sequence of events and dramatic arcs, which is hard to explain as merely random signals. Different people have different dreams, influenced by their biography, personality, and cultural context. After trauma, people often experience post-traumatic dreams that replay painful scenes. This suggests a deep connection between memory and dreams, not just chaos. Later studies using fMRI and positron emission tomography showed that dreams involve areas linked to language processing, memory, spatial awareness, and empathy. This indicates a far more complex dream architecture than Hobson proposed in 1977. Proto-consciousness, Hobson's updated theory. Years later, Hobson revised his theory, proposing a more nuanced model called the proto-consciousness theory. While retaining the idea of spontaneous neural activation, He incorporated deeper brain functions. What is protosconsciousness? Protosconsciousness is a basic form of awareness that develops in the womb and serves as the foundation for full consciousness. According to Hobson, REM sleep is a training ground for consciousness, especially in early life. It helps the brain learn to model external reality, predict actions, and adapt. During sleep, the brain models complex scenarios based on past experiences. This allows testing behaviors without risk, like rehearsing reality. This function is particularly crucial for infants and children. Newborns spend up to 50% of sleep in REM, which Hobson suggests is essential for developing cognitive abilities. Thus, dreams are not just the result of random activation, but a vital part of developing and maintaining consciousness, emotions as the engine of dreams. If we view sleep as a simulation of life or an internal rehearsal, why are dreams almost always emotionally charged, especially with anxiety, fear, or drama? The amygdala and emotional tone. Modern neurophysiological studies show that during REM sleep, the following are active: the amygdala, the generator of fear and anxiety; the hippocampus, the storehouse of long-term memory; the insular cortex, linked to bodily sensations and emotions. This explains why dreams are often filled with joy, fear, shame, or anger. The brain doesn't just replay random images. It processes emotional scenarios, working through psycho-emotional experiences. Sleep as a mechanism for emotional regulation. Psychologist Matthew Walker, author of the bestseller Why We Sleep, argues that sleep, particularly REM sleep, helps process emotions, reducing their intensity. This is especially important after stressful events. He offers a metaphor. A dream is like overnight therapy. We experience emotions in a safe environment without the stress hormone norepinephrine. In sleep, we rewrite emotional memories, making them less traumatic. Memory as the building block of dreams. Memory is a key component of dreams, but it doesn't work literally. We rarely dream exact replicas of events. Instead, the brain reshapes experiences into symbols and images. During sleep, the hippocampus, responsible for memory formation and consolidation, acts as a tutor, reviewing and sorting the day's information. Dreams serve two functions in this context: reinforcing important memories, especially those tied to strong emotions, discarding unnecessary information irrelevant to survival. Studies show that students preparing for exams often dream of solving problems, answering questions, or taking tests. This is no coincidence. The brain is rehearsing behaviors using material from the day. Another example is post-traumatic dreams. After trauma, people repeatedly see the same frightening scenes. This can be seen as the brain's attempt to process and integrate traumatic experiences, though it doesn't always succeed without therapy. Dreams as a mirror of our biography. When random neural activation, emotions, and memory combine, something remarkable emerges, a dream that reflects our inner world, past experiences, and unconscious anxieties. Modern neuroscientists increasingly argue that dreams are not just a byproduct of sleep, but an active form of psychological processing. They help maintain cognitive stability, integrate experiences, and prepare us for future events. They reflect deep emotional processes, including fears, desires, and hopes. Dreams are no longer seen by science as mystical messages from the unconscious or prophetic visions. Instead, they are a biologically and psychologically significant process involving nearly all major brain regions. Hobson's activation synthesis theory played a key role in debunking dream myths, but evolved from a focus on randomness to a concept of protosconsciousness, simulation, emotional regulation, and memory consolidation. Dreams are not just video clips of random frames. They are a complex psychobiological mechanism through which the brain rehearses life, copes with emotions, strengthens memories, and ultimately helps us remain whole individuals amid internal chaos. Evolutionary and cognitive theories of dreams. Dreams have captivated human imagination since ancient times, and over the centuries, people have sought to unravel their meaning and purpose. In recent decades, science has proposed several theories to explain why we dream. Among them, evolutionary and cognitive approaches stand out, viewing dreams as crucial mechanisms for adaptation and psycho-emotional regulation. In this chapter, we will explore these theories in detail, their core principles, and the role of dreams in human life. Dreams as a means of rehearsing behavior in dangerous situations. A key idea in evolutionary dream theory is the hypothesis that dreams play a vital role in rehearsing behavior in potentially dangerous or stressful situations. This is widely known as the threat simulation or survival rehearsal hypothesis. According to this theory, dreams allow the brain to live through scenarios involving life threats, preparing us for potential dangers in real life. These could be physical threats like predator attacks, or more abstract ones like social conflicts or problems requiring quick decisions. Behavior in dreams and threat preparation. Dreams involving danger or threats often include physical activity, such as fleeing, dodging attacks, or fighting an aggressor. These are typical scenarios our ancestors might have faced in natural environments, where survival depended on quick reactions to threats. This process can be seen as psychological training. The brain owns reactions and actions that might be useful in real situations. Classic examples include dreams of being chased, where someone tries to escape a pursuer, or fighting an enemy, requiring a defense strategy. In these cases, dreams act as a simulation of how to act in reality if life is at risk. Studies suggest that people who frequently dream of such scenarios tend to be calmer and more composed in real-life stressful situations, supporting the idea that dreams prepare us for threats. This theory finds support in studies of animal dreams. For example, mammals show activation in brain areas responsible for motor responses during REM sleep. Researchers believe this indicates animals train in sleep, processing behaviors needed for survival. Evolutionary adaptation. The evolutionary theory of dreams posits that dreams are the result of millennia of brain adaptation to survival needs. In this view, dreams can be seen as a threat simulator, where the brain plays out possible scenarios and develops effective solutions. This helps the body develop not only physical agility, but also psychological resilience, making us better prepared for real dangers. Thus, dreams may be more than random images. They are a critical element in shaping survival strategies. In dreams, humans and animals don't just experience stress but learn to respond to environmental changes. Dreams can thus be seen as a vital component in the evolutionary struggle for species survival. Dreams and their role in memory, processing, and consolidation. One of the most widely accepted cognitive theories of dreams is that they help process information received during the day. This theory is closely tied to memory consolidation, the process of transferring short-term memories to long-term storage. During sleep, the brain actively organizes and processes the day's information. Studies show that dreams play a key role in strengthening neural connections needed to retain important information. Experiments with children and adults demonstrate that dreams related to recent events help people learn new information faster and adapt to new experiences. The process of memory consolidation. Research indicates that memory processing and consolidation occur during sleep, particularly in slow-wave sleep. Consolidation is the process by which short-term memories become long-term, playing a crucial role in maintaining cognitive functions. For example, if someone learned something important or experienced a significant event, dreams likely help them better assimilate that experience and extract useful information. During sleep, neural circuits tied to recently learned or experienced events are activated, aiding their retention and integration into broader memory frameworks. This may explain why we often dream about our reality, such as exams, event preparations, or conversations with others. Dreams, therefore, are not just a replay of information, but a tool for psychological processing and understanding. Significant events, the link between emotions and memory. Equally important is the connection between dreams and emotions. The brain not only processes neutral facts, but actively handles emotional experiences from the day. If someone felt anxiety, stress, or joy, these emotions are processed during sleep and integrated into memory. This explains why emotionally charged dreams often linger in memory. In some cases, people wake vividly, recalling a dream that was highly emotionally significant. Dreams as a mechanism for emotional regulation. Theories, viewing dreams as a means of processing and regulating emotions, suggest that dreams help us cope with psycho-emotional challenges, both acute and chronic. If someone experiences stress, anxiety, or depression in real life, dreams can serve as a way to regulate emotions, transforming and processing emotions. One hypothesis supporting this idea is that dreams help process negative emotions and stress. Specifically, dreams may allow someone to relive unpleasant events, confront them, and find effective solutions for real life. This process is active during REM sleep, when the brain shows peak activity, enabling it to process emotional experiences. Thus, dreams may serve not only to process emotions, but also to restore psycho-emotional balance. This could explain why, after intense stress or experiences, many people wake feeling relieved. Such dreams provide a form of emotional therapy, allowing a reset of feelings and experiences. Dreams and mental health. There is evidence that dreams can positively impact mental health. For example, studies show that people with post-traumatic stress disorder often dream of reliving traumatic events. This can be both a symptom and a mechanism for psycho-emotional processing, helping individuals acknowledge and cope with their experiences to some extent. Additionally, data suggest that certain types of dreams help resolve emotional conflicts in daily life and interpersonal relationships. Such dreams can ease the perception of conflicts and promote emotional adaptation. Evolutionary and cognitive dream theories provide deeper insight into the role of dreams in human life. Dreams serve as a critical mechanism for rehearsing behavior, preparing us for potential threats. They also play a key role in memory processing and consolidation, helping us assimilate new experiences and process information. Finally, dreams are vital for emotional regulation, enabling us to cope with experiences and restore psycho-emotional balance. These theories highlight the complexity and diversity of dream functions, confirming that dreams are not just random images but adaptive mechanisms for our organism. Cultural and religious perspectives on dreams. Dreams have accompanied humanity since ancient times. They intrigue, inspire, sometimes frighten, and prompt questions. What do we experience in dreams? Where is the line between reality and dream? Why do we dream of symbols, voices, people long gone, or events that never happened? For millennia, different cultures have sought answers to these questions. Dreams were not only seen as important messages from gods, spirits, or ancestors, but also held a central place in religious rituals, mystical practices, and even political decision-making. In this chapter, we will journey through eras and civilizations, from the enigmatic ancient Egypt to the philosophical teachings of Buddhism, from Mesopotamian temples to modern interpretations in film and literature. We will explore how the perception of dreams has evolved and why even today, in an age of neuroscience and brain scanners, we return to ancient images and myths to understand the meaning of nocturnal visions. Dreams in ancient cultures. Ancient Egypt, dreams as divine messages. The ancient Egyptians were among the first to systematically study dreams. For them, dreams were not random images but messages from the gods. They believed that during sleep, the soul left the body and wandered through both earthly and otherworldly realms. They distinguished two types of dreams: those sent by gods, which were prophetic, and those caused by physiological factors like overeating or illness. However, dreams were most often interpreted as divine warnings or signs. In some cases, Egyptians visited sleep temples where they slept hoping to receive revelations. Texts like the Chester Beatty Papyrus contain catalogues of dreams with their interpretations. For example, dreaming of a lion signified strength and protection, while a crocodile could foretell danger or divine wrath. Dreams were so significant that pharaohs and rulers sometimes based political decisions on them. Records exist of dreams guiding the choice of battle dates or predicting outcomes. Mesopotamia, revelations through dreams. The Sumerians and Babylonians of Mesopotamia also held dreams in high regard. They believed dreams could come from gods, spirits, or even demons. Dreams were divided into true and false. True dreams, vivid and meaningful, came just before dawn. False dreams arose from bodily irritations or fatigue. Archaeologists have found clay tablets with dream interpretations. One famous example is the dream of King Gilgamesh, in which he saw a falling star transform into a man. According to priests, this foretold his meeting with his future friend Enkidu. Mesopotamian priests were trained in the art of dream interpretation, and entire schools of oneromancy, divination through dreams, existed. Dreams could predict harvests, wars, the birth of heirs, or divine wrath. Ancient Greece, gateways between worlds. The Greeks viewed dreams as a transitional state between life and death, body and spirit. In mythology, dreams were governed by gods: Hypnos, the god of sleep, and Morpheus, the god of dreams. Morpheus could take any form and brought images in dreams. The Greeks distinguished several types of dreams: oneroa, ordinary dreams; krematismoi, divine messages; phantasms, frightening or deceptive visions. In ancient Greece, Asclepia, temples dedicated to the healing god Asclepius, served not only for treatment but also for dream incubation. People spent the night in the temple, hoping for a healing dream or revelation about their illness. The philosopher Aristotle believed dreams resulted from the interplay of senses and imagination, but even he acknowledged that dreams could reveal truths inaccessible to the waking mind. Dreams in religious traditions, Christianity, dreams as divine guidance. The Bible contains numerous references to dreams. For example, the prophet Joseph interpreted the Pharaoh's dreams predicting famine. An angel appeared to Joseph, Mary's husband, in a dream, instructing him not to fear taking her as his wife. In other instances, dreams conveyed God's will, offered guidance, or warned against errors. Early Christians believed dreams were a channel for communicating with God. However, in the Middle Ages, attitudes became more cautious. The Church emphasized that dreams could also be temptations sent by the devil, especially if they caused fear or temptation. Church fathers like Augustine and John Chrysostom wrote that believers should approach dreams cautiously, always aligning them with Christ's teachings. Yet even in later centuries, dreams remained significant in the lives of saints, often serving as spiritual revelations. Islam, structure and symbolism of dreams. In Islam, dreams hold a special place. The Prophet Muhammad received revelations not only in waking life but also in dreams. Hadiths, sayings of the Prophet, state that a true dream is one of the 46 parts of prophecy. Dreams are divided into three categories: Rahmani, from Allah, good and pure; Shaitani, from Satan, anxious or frightening; Nafsani, from the self, caused by desires, thoughts or fears. Muslim scholars, such as Ibn Sirin, wrote extensive books on dream interpretation. Dreams may contain symbols. Water represents knowledge, a snake signifies an enemy, and a ladder indicates spiritual growth. In dreams, one might meet deceased relatives or saints, considered a significant sign. Special attention is given to recurring or vivid dreams, which require careful reflection. Buddhism, illusory nature and the mind. Buddhism offers a unique perspective on dreams. As a core Buddhist principle is the illusory nature of all phenomena. Dreams are seen as reflections of the mind state. In a dream, one can realize the impermanence, unpredictability, and illusoriness of everything. In the Tibetan tradition, the practice of dream yoga teaches individuals to become aware in dreams, control them, and use them as a tool for meditation and insight. This is akin to the modern concept of lucid dreaming. According to Buddhist teachings, if someone can recognize in a dream that everything is a projection of the mind, they take a step toward awakening and liberation from suffering. Dreams are a way to observe desires, fears, and karmic traces. Modern cultural interpretations of dreams. Today, dreams continue to captivate humanity. Despite scientific theories, neurophysiology, and psychology, dreams inspire writers, artists, and filmmakers. In literature, from Franz Kafka to Haruki Murakami, dreams are key plot elements reflecting a character's inner struggles. In films, like Christopher Nolan's Inception, dreams become complex, multi-layered constructs where the line between dream and reality blurs. Many modern people keep dream journals, study lucid dreaming, and participate in online communities to discuss and share dream experiences. Some even attempt to interpret dreams using artificial intelligence, inputting dream descriptions into neural networks for possible meanings. The culture of dreams has evolved, but persists. We still seek clues, symbols, and answers in dreams. While modern science explains much, it doesn't negate the core truth. Like art, dreams hold a mystery that makes us human. Dreams are not just neural impulses and brain chemistry. They are also part of our cultural, spiritual, and emotional heritage. Ancient civilizations saw dreams as revelations and divine commands. Religious teachings turned them into paths to enlightenment. Modern humans still search for answers in dreams, even if those answers are silent. In dreams, we encounter the depths of our self, past experiences, fears, and hopes. Perhaps every dream is a journey through centuries, where echoes of ancient temples, prayers, and symbols intertwine with our personal stories. So let each dream be not only rest for the body, but an invitation to a dialogue between our inner world and humanity's great cultural heritage, lucid dreaming and its research. We continue our exploration of dreams by focusing on one of the most enigmatic and thrilling phenomena: lucid dreaming. Unlike ordinary dreams, where we are mere observers, lucid dreams allow us to become active participants in our fantasies, sometimes even creators of our own reality. This topic captivates not only esoteric enthusiasts, but also serious researchers, neuropsychologists, cognitive scientists, and specialists in therapy and medicine. Today, we will explore what lucid dreaming is, how to induce it, and its potential. Role in psychotherapy, creativity, and self-development. What is lucid dreaming? First, let's define the concept. A lucid dream is a state in which a person realizes they are dreaming and often can control the events within the dream. This may involve mild awareness, I'm dreaming, or complete control, such as flying, altering landscapes, or meeting anyone. The term fully lucid dream describes a state where awareness approaches that of wakefulness with strikingly realistic sensations. Lucid dreams can occur spontaneously, without techniques, or be deliberately induced through exercises and methods. The phenomenon has been referenced since antiquity, in the works of philosophers like Aristotle and in Eastern spiritual practices like Buddhism and Hinduism. However, scientific study of lucid dreaming began only in the 20th century. In the 1970s and 1980s, American psychologist Stephen LaBerge became a pioneer in this field. He conducted experiments proving that people in REM sleep could consciously signal with eye movements, providing compelling evidence that lucid dreaming is an objectively verifiable state of consciousness. How to distinguish a lucid dream from an ordinary one? Lucid dreams have several distinguishing features. Awareness of dreaming. You clearly understand it's a dream, not reality. Critical thinking. You can question, analyze, and recall real life during the dream. Free will. The ability to choose actions, explore the environment, or alter the plot. Enhanced. Sensory perception. Visual, auditory, and tactile sensations are often intensified. Interestingly, a lucid dream may start as an ordinary one, but at some point, the dreamer wakes up within the dream, realizes what's happening, and shifts to a new level of perception. Methods for achieving lucid dreams. Numerous methods exist to induce lucid dreaming, broadly categorized as passive or active. Reality checks. This is perhaps the most well-known and accessible method. Throughout the day, you regularly check if you're dreaming. For example, look at a clock twice. Time often jumps in dreams. Or try pushing a finger through your palm. Physical laws are often violated in dreams. Performing these checks regularly in waking life builds a habit that can carry into dreams. One day you'll do it in a dream and realize you're asleep. Keeping a dream journal. Upon waking, record everything you remember as quickly as possible. This strengthens dream recall and increases the likelihood of recognizing dreams later. After a few weeks, you'll develop a library of images and start noticing recurring elements. Mnemonic induction of lucid dreams, mild. Developed by Stephen LaBerge, this method involves suggesting to yourself before sleep or after a brief awakening, "The next time I dream, I'll realize it's a dream." It's a form of self-hypnosis. Wake back to bed, WBTB. Sleep for 5-6 hours. Wake up, stay awake for 20-30 minutes, often engaging in dream-related activities. Then go back to sleep with the intention of lucidity. This method sends you directly into REM sleep, where lucid dreams are more likely. Wake-initiated lucid dream, wild. One of the most challenging yet powerful methods, wild involves maintaining consciousness while falling asleep, entering the dream directly from wakefulness. It requires practice and focus, but yields vivid, controlled dreams. Physiology of lucid dreams. Modern studies using EEG and fMRI show that lucid dreams involve activation of specific brain areas, particularly the prefrontal cortex, responsible for self-awareness and logical thinking. In ordinary dreams, this region is typically less active. REM sleep is the critical phase for lucid dreams. During this period, the eyes move under the eyelids, and the brain is nearly as active as when awake. Researchers have also noted increased activity in the temporal and parietal lobes, linked to imagery and spatial orientation. Lucid dreams and psychotherapy. Now let's explore practical applications. One of the most promising areas is psychotherapy. Dreams, including lucid ones, have long been used in psychoanalysis, but new methods are emerging. Imagine you fear spiders or heights. In traditional therapy, a safe environment is created to gradually confront the fear. A lucid dream is an ideal space. You know you're safe and can repeatedly face the fear until it fades. Researchers like Dr. Jay Greenberg use lucid dreams to address traumatic memories. In a dream, a patient can rewrite a frightening scenario, replace an aggressor with a protector, or emerge victorious from a situation that left scars in reality. In dreams, one can experience success, confidence, or overcoming challenges. These emotional experiences persist and influence the psyche. People feel more capable, active, and creative after such dreams. Lucid dreams and self-development. Lucid dreams are valuable not only in therapy, but also in creativity, learning, and spiritual practice. Many artists, writers, and musicians have drawn inspiration from dreams. Salvador Dali used a technique of falling asleep with a key in hand to capture images on the edge of sleep and wakefulness. In lucid dreams, you can directly engage with your subconscious, ask questions, seek solutions, or explore imagined worlds. Studies suggest that practicing physical skills in dreams can enhance real-world performance. Musicians, athletes, and even surgeons report that rehearsals in dreams improve their confidence in reality. In Tibetan Buddhism, lucid dreaming is an extension of meditation. The goal is to understand the mind's nature, transcend illusions, and grasp the essence of the self. For Westerners, this can be a path to inner harmony and self-acceptance. Risks should also be noted. Lucid dreaming can disrupt sleep, especially with excessive focus on control or repeated awakenings. In rare cases, some experience heightened anxiety or confusion between dream and reality. These are uncommon, but worth considering. It's also important to understand that lucid dreaming is a skill requiring time and practice. For some, it comes quickly. For others, it takes months. The key is patience, gentleness, and self-awareness. Lucid dreams are a unique space between fantasy and reality, where we can explore ourselves, learn, heal, and create. They prove that the boundaries of our perception are broader than they seem. Sleep is not just rest, but an entire universe where we are the protagonists, directors, and audience. Recall your last dream. Now imagine you could re-enter it. But consciously, what would you do? Where would you go? Who would you talk to? The dream world awaits closer than you think. Why do we dream, really? Sleep is not just a physiological necessity. It is a portal to another reality, where the boundaries between mind and subconscious, logic and chaos, experience and fantasy blur. Dreams are the backstage of the human psyche, where fears, desires, images and meanings are born under the cover of night. Though familiar to us since childhood, we still don't know exactly why we dream. Perhaps it's their elusiveness that makes dreams such a powerful source of fascination. We fell asleep in caves under starry skies, in medieval cells in industrial megacities, and in the digital age, and dreams have always been with us. Now, at the conclusion of this grand narrative, let's summarize. What have we learned about dreams and why does it matter? Dreams, an ancient mirror of human nature. Dreams didn't begin yesterday. Given that even mammals and birds exhibit REM sleep, dreams may be evolutionarily older than language, perhaps even older than abstract thinking as we know it. In early civilizations, dreams were seen as messages from above, prophecies or mystical revelations. People trusted dreams as much as waking reality, seeing meaning rather than error. Ancient humans intuitively sensed that dreams spoke of something profound, beyond the everyday. There's a deep truth in this. Dreams are indeed part of a natural mechanism for self-understanding. We've simply forgotten how to listen. Dreams as a personal archive. Modern science confirms that dreams are not meaningless. They process information, refine memories, and reprogram traumas. Dreams are the brain's archive room, where daytime data is repackaged into long-term memory or discarded, but they're also a laboratory testing what-if scenarios. We can simulate disasters, conflicts, the death of a loved one, humiliation or risk, experiencing them in a safe environment. Our psyche searches for solutions, tests reactions, and builds resilience. Sometimes dreams are simply a theater where the director, actors, and audience are one. The plot may defy logic, but behind the strangeness lies an emotion, real, powerful, authentic. What dreams tell us if we learn to listen. One of the most striking features of dreams is their emotional honesty. In a dream, you can't keep a straight face or pretend. If you dream of falling, being late, losing something, losing your voice, or being trapped in a maze, it's not random. It reflects real tension, even if you're unaware of it. Dreams unearth what you repress. They can be a map of unresolved conflicts, a cry for help you don't hear during the day, a hint at your desires and fears, a warning that you've lost your way. In this sense, every dream is a letter from yourself, written in a different script. Learning to read it can change everything. The practical value of dreams. We live in a world obsessed with productivity. Sleep is often seen as downtime, mere rest. This is a profound misconception. In reality, dreams enhance memory. Studies show that better sleep leads to faster learning and longer retention. Reduce anxiety. Dreams process emotions, especially after stress. Boost creativity. Dreams combine ideas in unexpected, innovative ways. Aid therapy. In psychoanalysis and Jungian practice, dreams are a key to accessing the unconscious. The question isn't whether you sleep, but whether your mind works for you at night or on its own. Why keep a dream journal? You may not remember your dreams, and that's normal. But if you start writing down even fragments, a few words each morning, your dream recall will improve. This is a proven effect. The brain notices that you're paying attention to dreams and becomes more attuned to nighttime experiences. A dream journal is a way to track recurring themes, a tool for analyzing inner conflicts, a source of ideas and inspiration, a personal document as significant as a waking diary. Months later, you might reread it and marvel, did I really dream that? Why dreams are as real as reality. Neurophysiologists have found that during REM sleep, the brain is nearly as active as when awake. It feels dream events on the same biochemical level as reality. Fear, attraction, sadness, excitement, shame, all are real. Thus, dreams are not an illusion, but another level of experience. Taking them seriously can reveal much about your life, relationships, motives, needs, and pain points. What if? Dreams repeat, are vivid or frighten. This could indicate an emotional signal, something unprocessed, a physical signal, the brain reacting to pain, fatigue, or disrupted sleep cycles, a symbolic code, an inner theme you're avoiding. A recurring dream is like an intrusive thought. It won't leave until you face it. Sometimes simply acknowledging I'm afraid of failure or I'm tired of pretending makes the nightmare fade, not because you defeated it, but because it's no longer needed. What if I don't dream at all? Everyone dreams, even if you don't remember them. But if you haven't recalled a dream in a long time, it may be a signal. Chronic stress, exhaustion, certain medications, or disrupted sleep phases can mute dream access. You can regain access by improving sleep. Hygiene. Reducing stimulation before bed. Recording anything you recall in the morning. Thinking before sleep. I want to remember what I see. Sleep as a mirror of the soul. You may live in a city of a million lights, surrounded by technology and speed, skeptical of mysticism, uninterested in Freud, and without a dream journal. But every night you enter the silence of your consciousness, where things happen beyond your control. Sometimes this is the most honest part of your life. In dreams, there are no social masks or filters, just you and everything you haven't said, lived, or let go. Dreams are the memory of the heart, the echo of thoughts you don't think, gestures you didn't make, words you didn't dare speak. What now? Now you know that dreams are not a meaningless kaleidoscope, but a powerful, subtle tool. They can heal, inspire, frighten, and guide. They are not a glitch of consciousness, but its continuation in different scenery. Perhaps tonight, as you close your eyes and find yourself somewhere between past, present, and fiction, you'll think, this matters. This is about me. And then all that's left is to watch closely. As our journey into the world of dreams concludes, I invite you to lie down, close your eyes, and let your mind dissolve into the soft sounds of sleep. Let them guide you to where images, memories, and inspiration live.